good evening. It's the evening of day 9, and we're going to tonight just feed our starters. And usually this is a kind of a turning point for a regular sourdough starter. And for a gluten-free sourdough starter, by day 9, you should have a really strong, vital, active sourdough starter. So if you don't, let's figure it out together. All right, let's go see how they look.
And here's Bob, and you can see it's really active still. How this is wonderful. There's lots of bubbles and it smells sweet and like sourdough. It's not sour yet though. It's risen, you can tell. It's more than doubled, but you can see it has a bit of a liquidy consistency. So this is an old starter. It's gone past its peak activity. It's risen and dropped, and it leaves a mark on the side of the jar. So these starters, once a starter has passed its peak activity, it has a higher acidity because of the increasing bacteria. And so now the yeast are starting to die because they do not like acidic environments. So it's losing its ability to raise the leaven. So we don't want to make a leaven out of an old starter unless we're looking to produce a really sour leaven, which would make a much more sour loaf of sourdough bread. Now we did notice that the starter was a little bit more liquid in consistency and a little bit runnier than it was before. So that's because the bacteria are increasing in their population and they're producing the alcohol as a byproduct of the fermentation. So as the bacteria start to take over, there will become hooch on top. So then it's becoming a little bit more liquidy. And if we had let it sit a little longer, it would have then developed a hooch on top. So what this is telling me is that this starter is just past its peak activity. So if I had wanted to create a leaven with this, once we've been created our colony and we're after 14 days, and I wanted to create a leaven, all I would have to do is feed this starter a little snack to get it back up to its peak activity. And don't worry, we'll talk all about that later on. And tomorrow, I'll also talk to you about what a mature and a young starter are. That way you know the difference. So let's feed our starter. We'll keep the ratio at 3 to 5 to 5. Give it a mix, discard all but 30 grams, and feed it 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour. Then, of course, you're going to do the old mix to give oxygen for the yeast and possibly introduce more yeast from the environment. Clean your jar and do the jiggle test to make sure you have the right consistency. So now just cover your starter back up, place it in its snuggly spot, and check the level of your elastic. And remember, don't throw out your discard. Look how bubbly and beautiful and active it is. You can use it to bake all sorts of goodies. Just take your discard and place it in the fridge. I keep a jar in the fridge with my discard in it and just keep adding to it as you discard your starter. Then when you feel like baking, you have a beautiful discard left over to help you make some amazing pancakes, muffins, crackers, whatever your heart desires. And believe me, it will take your baking to the next level. You're going to just love baking with your discard. Just remember to use it within a week or to give it a snack of equal parts of flour and water, and it'll be bubbly and active again. And when you make something, please share a picture with me in the comments. I would just love to see your successes. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful sleep, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning when we'll feed our starters again. Good night.